Hannah, where art thou? And Anita answered, God, I am here, and I'm naked.
And you where? In which Bible?
In this Bible.
My man is on fire. The devil's in trouble.
I can find it anymore.
Tell the people to donate because the Lord commands them to.
Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'll be doing a movie review of the Netflix original Ghanaian drama, which is A Taste of Sin. This movie revolves around the lives of two pastors. So one, Pastor Ted, very principled pastor. She's about salvation, love, proper pastor. Then the other one happens to be one of those fake pastors who focuses more on getting people to donate to the church, even people that can't donate. So his own thing was just using the church as a money-making business, whereas the other pastor was more or less a more devoted pastor. So you come to understand that this devoted pastor Teddy was faced with temptations, and he fell, and consequences of his actions, consequences of his sin, what he had committed was what he was dealing with in the later part of the movie. So that's like the overview of the movie. So basically two pastors who are polar opposites of each other. The movie was produced by Dominion TV, directed by Rajah Arase, and it's currently airing on Netflix, so you can watch it on Netflix if you haven't seen it. And the performances and cast of this movie. So for one, we have Pastor Teddy. So he is played by Gardiner. He's married to his wife, has this beautiful church. Their ministry is growing and flourishing, and he's like a very loving, very supportive husband, and he's a very dedicated pastor. So it's like the dream pastor. It was also very different to see Gardiner act in a pastor role. So it was more or less saying that okay, this guy can take up any role because he embodied the character very well. One thing led to another. Lust of the flesh, the devil just tempts him. He is supposed to resist the devil, but in this case he was unable to do so. Led him to fall from grace. So all these sins that followed up after that, which you will get to see in the movie if you haven't seen the movie. Then now on the flip side, we have Reverend Kwesi Todd. So now he's more or less one of those pastors that he lives off luxury. Yeah, he's one of those luxurious pastors. So you see him flying jets, you see him cars, like with this beautiful mansion. So he, unlike the other pastor, his own thing is just money, like opening branches all over the world, all over the country, and they're just basically using the church as a front for donations, give so you can be blessed kind of thing. So that was more or less his message, his doctrines to his congregation, just to give. And then you see him like all over social media, more or less just doing his thing. So, and I think even in this movie you won't get to see him preach, you won't get to see him in church, you won't get to see him like talk about the word of God. You will just get to see him talking to his junior pastors, talking to his wife. You won't really see him in the church setting. Aside from that, we get to see Ruth. So Ruth is played by Abena Appiah, who happens to be the wife to Pastor Teddy. So Ruth is like this angelic mommy G.O., this church mommy with her supportive nature and her care. She's so sweet. She's very, very sweet in this movie. I love anything Abena Appiah acts, I watch, and it was so good to see her acting this role. Like she can tap into her emotions when necessary. She can make you feel what she's feeling. She can make you feel angry, and everything. So like that she's struggling with having a child, it affects her in the way like she at times she gets upset with the fact that okay, they are praying for people to have children and they'll have children, but like why is her own case different and stuff. So that's something she was struggling with, and her husband was very, very supportive of her like through it all. You also get to see like what happened, because them not being able to have a child for I think over 5 years or 4 years. So watching an interview on TV where someone was suggesting like everything is not church. At times you need to seek like for like marriages, you need to see like a doctor, you need to speak to like counselor. So that now brings the idea up to her of her husband going to get like a medical view on like what's, if they are both okay, like what's actually going on. And in the process of doing that, she comes to realize that she doesn't have a womb. This now takes us back to, you know, her abuse and, you know, everything that she went through when she was 13 years old. So before, you know, her husband doing what he did, to aftermath of it all, like she stuck with him through it all. She was really there for her husband. She really loved her husband, because I'm like, no, this woman is strong. Because even the part where, you know, she found her like on the news, she was hurt, she was broken, but you know, she still hugged him. You know, she was still there for him, like when he was to be picked up by the police. Like she was, nah, she's a very, very strong woman, honestly. Like I don't know how many people would go through what she did, but it just shows to her testament of like a virtuous woman and a very, very loving and, you know, dedicated wife. So yeah, she acted that role very well. There's somebody else you would get to see, a Lady G.O. That's Reverend Kwesi's wife. She has this model physique. She is going hard for, you know, donations for the church. She's always grilling their pastors, like, why are we not getting so why is so not coming in from this church and that church and this church? So she's just like basically managing the business of the church, you know. So yeah, she acted her role very well. She's a very classy, very elegant woman. Like when you see her on screen, like this one is pastor's wife. But yeah, certain scenes here and there you think like she should know better, she should do better, but I believe she acted the role very well. Somebody else you get to see in this movie, you get to see Bishop. So Bishop is played by Kofi. He's more or less Pastor Teddy's spiritual father, so more or less like his papa in church. Confides in him, you know, to talk to him as like mentor and spiritual daddy. So he did his thing, because we all know he can act, so he did his thing. Other characters you get to see, although I don't know their names, but I would like talk about them and put up their pictures. You get to see Pastor Teddy's mom. So Pastor Teddy's mom, her own thing was, you know, she just wanted a grandchild. The other side, you get to see Reverend Todd's mom. She's a very lovely woman. Her own thing, she's just trying to let her son know that you can't be doing this. She's always like preaching to him, advising him, warning him like should stop, you know, all this money that is not like a business, like it's the ministry of God and you've been called by God, sort of thing. So he should stop misusing the church of God. And you know, he doesn't listen, like he doesn't heed to her warning. Somebody else you also get to see in the movie would be Anita. So Anita is this gospel singer at the church. So she is like, I think she's like very popular in the country or something. She's a very popular gospel artist. Like, you know, she ministers to people through her music. She's like loved everywhere. Like she has fans and stuff. So she, in this movie, this Anita lady is the one who, you know, is entangled with, you know, Pastor Teddy, you know, and they get into what they get into. I don't know why, but from the opening, like when I first saw her, I just knew, because from the title A Taste of Sin, you'd be like, obviously maybe something would happen. Maybe a minister of God would fall from grace, you know, a minister of God will fall into temptation. And you know, when I first saw her, you know, with the singing like and stuff, I just figured like maybe she's the one that would be used to tempt so person. The movie also featured Archbishop, you know, of the church. You know, he was like advising and just talking to them, you know, when they had done all they had done, you know, the mistakes, and like realizing their mistake and wanting to come back to God. Like when this man was speaking, like nobody needs to tell you that this man is filled with grace of God. This man is spirit filled. Like he was speaking and you could feel it. Although it was a movie, but his words really, you know, stuck. His words really ministered. The movie was obviously shot in Ghana. It's very beautiful, like the location used, you know, the hospital scene, the houses, even the church, like everything was very, very clear, like good quality, of course. And it touched on themes such as theme of faith, like your faith in God, touches on forgiveness, touches on redemption, you know, touches on rape, of course. So faith for one, obviously, because it's a faith-based movie, you know, it's a church movie. Faith in God is very, very powerful. Having faith, like obviously in the impossible, like what God cannot do does not exist. which you would come to see that in play in this movie. Because imagine somebody that has been told she doesn't have a womb, she can't have a child, but you know, is now pregnant. So how does that happen if not because of the faith she has in God? And also with the whole thing of forgiveness, like, you know, imagine, like, I don't even know, guy, like, I don't know, like, her husband cheats on her, takes the lady for, you know, abortion, and the lady loses her life, and she used to find out about all of that on the news. Just imagine, like, nah, that's a lot to take in. Cause no, and she forgave him. Thank God for God, though. Thank God for God, because I don't know. Temptations will come left and right, but it's for you to decide, for you to, you know, be disciplined enough not to fall. It was very sad that, you know, the husband fell so shamelessly the way he did, but she was able to forgive him, and she was able to, you know, keep her home together and move forward. Honestly, I don't know if I could have, you know, done that, because that is a lot to deal with. But tell me, like, if you were in her shoes, would you have been able to forgive and move on and just, like, I don't know? And also the thing of redemption, like, he was trying to redeem himself. Like, he knew he had disappointed God. He was broken, he was shattered, and he was trying his best to, you know, come back. Like, he didn't even want, like, his house anymore. He felt like he didn't deserve these things, you know. He wanted to go back to his humble beginnings. You see him, like, on the streets, you know, just preaching to people in their cars, you know, just on the road, just ministry. He was more or less like a prodigal son, and thankfully, you know, he was able to, you know, get back on track. And this movie will now also highlight, you know, the theme with all these friend pastors. There are so many people that claiming to be called by God are now using church as a business, like a money making business. So many things that are very relatable in this movie, like things that happen on a daily basis, like day to day, is what this movie would highlight for us to see and just, you know, talk about. The movie is a very enjoyable movie. The movie will teach you a thing or two. The movie will make you know that, okay, pastors are also humans as well. I know how people look up to pastors and look up to this person and that person. Like, they are all human beings. Like how the Archbishop said, like, when Pastor Todd knelt down and came to him and was saying he looks up to him, he wants to be like him. And Archbishop was like, don't claim to be like me, claim to be like Christ, because me, I'm trying to be like Christ. So don't want to be like me, because like, what am I? So that's just like, try to be like Christ sort of thing. So yeah, so if you've seen the movie, like, let's talk about it in the comment section. Like, honestly, like, I didn't even expect for her to end up the way she did, because at first I was like, maybe all this thing is just a bad dream that, you know, the pastor would wake up. And I was like, this dream was too long, and I was like, at this point he's supposed to, you know, wake up. And also on the flip side with Pastor Todd, he was more or less just doing and doing. He felt like he could get away with anything, and, you know, God arrested him. God, you know, showed him who is God, and he, you know, how he can be a consuming fire, and he showed that side. It's a very enjoyable movie, like, you should check it out if you haven't seen it. Is on Netflix, and you would see some of your favorite Ghanaian actors in this movie. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, like, tell me, have you seen the movie? Would you be seeing the movie? What did you think about the movie? See you in my next video. Bye.